Hi, lords and ladies. This is Fabian Viking, and here with my friend Daniel. Hi.
Hi.
So we're gonna look through the exciting winter updates. Well, it's maybe not the biggest update because I'm still patching all the old problems. So this is more like a low-hanging fruit update. We have the changelog here. So let's just go through them and see what new stuff we got. So I'm just gonna walk through the big changes. So you maybe notice here is a little bit of a cliffhanger for later. Now when you start a new game, I added a quick match, and this is more like a classic RTS where you have an instant battle between armies. Let's see if we can try it out. So you see on this map, I am this guy, and I should have ally. No, this is all against all. So you can start in teams, and you can start all in all. So this is, I'm in an instant fight with these guys here.
Oh yeah, you got a nice seat. You immediately start with the biggest enemies that exist. Yeah, the light and the dark factions. Good
Those
luck.
are now restricted to only be like a player. You see that they don't have any big army. So
Okay.
this is not story mode anymore. They only have these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry. It's because I just took those because they're easily recognizable. So that's the versus mode, and you maybe wonder like nobody asked for this. Why did I do it? The one reason is like low hanging fruit, and I know some people like to do like a little afternoon take over the world before they go into bed. So this mode will be nice for them. But it is also a preparation for the multiplayer for the future. So if you're playing multiplayer, you maybe want to have something quicker than the 50-hour story. So that's the reason. Um, you also see the minimap I've been working on here. And
Yeah.
you can zoom, you can move, and you can look around. It doesn't have many features, so you can mostly just watch and move the camera.
Yeah, but you can see what you own, so that's already very nice.
Yeah. Uh, it's moving along with the camera a bit. It's not perfect because for me personally, I like the mini map to always be like locked. So that's maybe a feature I should add in the future. Feature in the future. Because I'm a person who always get lost in games, so I like to have like something I can clamber on to know where I am. I hope to extend it in the future. So maybe if you do like I know we have nothing on this map here. But if you do like a deliver, and I hover over like a postal service, it should. I'm thinking like it would be nice to have like a mini map over here that shows where it's gonna be delivered, so I can just reuse those textures. So and also when you get alerts, would be nice if they like showed up like a red
Yeah, like a
bar.
pinpointed location.
Yeah, so there's plenty of stuff that could be improved. One thing I like is like right now you can see enemy armies like red on the map. So this is an enemy, so they
Yeah.
show up as red.
Oh, maybe something fun. If you hover your mouse over the minimap, try zooming out.
And I since I did this feature, I also reused it on this map. So this is basically the same texture reused. So now you can swap filter here. You can
Yeah.
watch in terrain mode. And this is exactly the same mode as the minimap, but
What are
bigger.
those gray white squares, if I may ask?
These one, these gray squares.
Yeah, these white gray squares, as if they are missing
Yeah,
textures.
those are
and-
neutral units.
Oh, okay.
So neutral units, your units are green. Can't see it for the damn flag, but yeah, there.
That threw me off so hard. It's like, oh yeah, those are units.
Yeah, that's why the checker pattern, because
Yeah,
you
the
can see
neutral
them.
white gray.
They also are on this map right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some have complained they're not in my own color, but yeah. I'm just reusing the minimap. So yeah, and you have. I also have like this filter that has been requested, where you can like, who has iron or a tin ore. You can click here and you see like a heat map of the items. So that's pretty nice. And that is basically reusing the map filter. I notice I haven't fixed all the art yet. Oh well. What's more on the agenda? When you now rename cities, you don't get that black bar anymore. You can just rename in the HUD like this. So that's a nice update. And I also, when you look at this map, you have previously you didn't see the borders between the cities like here. It's not perfect, but you see like a slight darker color. And I also made the borders between the cities stronger. So if you have like two dark areas next to each other, you have like a better border between them. So I've done some slight improvements there. So another mode I have added, and I can never exit the game properly because that is kind of like a problem that I've been avoiding, and that is like because the game runs on 16 cores, and for some reason Microsoft have removed the option to like just crash a core to get rid of it. So you have to let it run until it's done, and sometimes it gets stuck. So I my solution right now is basically crashing the game each time you exit, and then rebooting it. It's not noticeable, but it's not really a good solution.
Why did Microsoft remove that, if I may ask?
Ask me, dude. I think it's because like it's not good practice to crash software. I
But
guess
it works.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it did work. So, in this case, they're just moving numbers around in something that's gonna be removed anyway. So it's no risk in it. But
No, okay.
I think they're seeing like C# like it's a protected language, as they say. Like it should be impossible to do dangerous mistakes like moving memory around and so on.
Yes, but yeah, go ahead. No, I'm not gonna.
We also have this new here, difficulty level 300. It's because some people think the game is too easy, so now I'm really challenging them. In the game, there's like a war manager that keeps you busy. It is basically checking if you haven't been in war for a long time. It's gonna try to find equal opponents and set them up against you. So you have like so you don't just keep escalating forever.
Does this also include having allies?
Yeah, the count on your ally strength. Yes. It's also harder than ever to get allies because I restricted it a lot because it was too easy to abuse the ally
So
system.
I cannot do the embassy run anymore. Like build 15 embassies per province, and I just basically
Yeah.
ally. And then the AI, the enemies just don't attack anyone anymore, and it causes like stagnation or something.
You can still do a little bit of the truce juggling. So if you get someone in truce, you can just extend the truce forever, and you're pretty safe.
Oh no! What I prefer to do is I look for a weak ally or a weak person that has resources that I need. I become their allies. Then I make sure that I have more strength than them. I check if they have two provinces, and then I declare war against a much stronger person, so that I get the. You can absorb your ally if they have if they're in a war with a much stronger
Yeah.
person and they are weaker than you. Then absorb them and then declare peace with the enemy.
Yeah, there are still ways to abuse it. But I'll try to restrict it a little bit.
Yeah.
With the 300%, the biggest difference is that the War Manager it will be way more active, and
Mm.
the story mode is also compressed, so the bosses show up earlier than usual and so on. In a normal game, you have around 3 hours to like build up before you get any real attacks on you. In the 300%, you have like 8 minutes to build up,
Yeah, and
and then
does
it
the attack
starts.
scale with you, or is it like a stock size?
For the story bosses, the bosses are only sized to the difficulty, and you can also see here it says boss size 4 of 4.
Yeah.
So that won't change. But the War Manager, who's trying to balancing the game, will beef up the opponents if you're like going ahead.
Yeah, but is it like cheating, or is it more like he will tell them to make more units, so they will also increase their economy, or is it just like a flat out?
No, it will just collect a bunch of AI opponents until they're
Mm.
like equal strength, and then they will all together attack you.
Okay, okay.
So it's more like a coalition system. And I think it still fits because like in history, people are doing coalition against a stronger enemy, and so it works.
Oh yeah, I agree. It also feels more natural.
Yeah. So we don't need to try that, but that's gonna if the game is too easy for you, that's gonna make you sweat. Hopefully. So far, no one has beaten it. There's also like a fun new achievement to like survive for 1 hour, but that is actually pretty easy to break. So that is just for fun. I try to have all achievements to be like uh, somewhat achievable for a normal person.
Don't put the game up for 7 years. There is one game that has that achievement.
Jesus, I don't like that.
Yeah,
I
same
know
here.
that I know there's achievement hunters, and I want to give the people the ability to have like the satisfaction of completing hundred
Yeah, it
percent.
doesn't have to be like, oh, achieve this, you get achievement. Like, you want to get rewarded for putting in some effort.
Yeah. Another new thing is the tutorial. I know, because one of the big critiques of the game is the tutorial is bad. So now the original tutorial is the same, but I also compressed the UI a bit. But now when it's complete, I can also press end tutorial here. You get into the advisor system. So the advisor is mostly like the tutorial, but the game has now started full. The story has started, people may attack you and so on. During the tutorial, all stories like paused and no one will attack you. So the advisor is more like during full gameplay missions. That could give you a little bit more of a teaching. So that should hopefully give some people more hand holding to learn more about the game. Uh, yeah. So we can go into the tutorial discussion because one of the common critiques I have is like, why don't you tell people what to do, and why don't you explain the mechanics better, and so on. And I have actually been trying a lot of different tutorial systems, but okay, let me tell you this story. When I played Demon Souls for the first time, I hated the game because I came from like a Zelda world. I only played those games, classic adventures, and I just tried to headbutt through the Demon Souls. I didn't understand the game at all, and I put it off. But then a few years later, I saw someone else play it on a video, and it just appeared to me like, I see. It's a game where you have to try different routes, you have to try items, you have to be a bit sneaky and cheesy and so on. And then I love the game. So that's a big, it can be a big difference in what type of mindset as a player you have when you go into a game. When I tried more handholdy tutorials, which I have done earlier, I find that people don't have the mindset of exploring and investigating, which you actually need in this game. Because a big part of the game is finding bottlenecks and figuring out why things will stop and not produce as you want to. So you have to have this like mindset of like, I need to investigate. And I find if I do too much hand holding, people lose that mindset and they will always be lost in the game no matter what I do. And as soon as I change the tutorial to force people to think for themselves and not giving any hand holding at all, that's when it started to work. Because people come in with the right mindset, or they're just scared off and play another game.
Because you are not hand holding, they also can't have any wrong expectations that suddenly a magician will appear and he will help me. Like you know, in Settlers 2, there is one failsafe. If you build buildings and you don't have enough wood to build a woodcutter, a sawmill, and a stone cutter, you get a red alarm from the game engine, and they give you like enough wooden planks to build one woodcutter, one sawmill, and one stone cutter. From my head, like Settlers 2. It's like a fail safe, and that's like the only help you get after you mismanage everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not
That's
like, oh
basically
yeah,
my black market. That is my failsafe.
yeah, like that, exactly.
It's just a big safety net. Not the best solution, but yeah, sometimes you need to move on. That will hopefully be removed and replaced with trading. One of the most biggest critiques I get is the UI has problems, and I can see it, but I maybe disagree for different reasons than you may think, because one of the reason something have good UI is often like you are used to it, so you don't think about it. But the problem is when people are suggesting better UI, that is for not a different game genre, and this genre needs, of course, its own UI solutions, and it's gonna look different to what you are used to. So just being different, you fail. Because a lot of good UI design is just doing like what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, and if I may interject, I think it's also the people that complain at the UI often come with a mindset that they want you to fix it so that it looks like the other UI, so that it's easier for them to follow because
Yeah.
they indeed are used to everything else.
Because people often come with a perspective of I cannot find something, so that's why then the UI is bad. So we have one example here that I got a lot of complaints about. Like, let's say I build houses here, and then people say, "Oh, there's no way to exit the build menu because you're in like a build mode now. There's no button to exit, and there's the UI is bad and so on." But actually, if you look at the tooltip right now, you see that the second option there says cancel, and people are not seeing it because they're not expecting to see it.
That or they press the wrong button.
Yeah, because they expect right click or escape to exit the game mode. But
Nah, what I meant more is like when you see an arrow to the left, some people might think it's literally the arrow left key. That's thingy. They
I
don't
don't.
know it's backspace.
I think people just don't see it.
That's also possible.
Yeah, because the reason I don't use right click is because I like to move and then paint. But you can actually change it in the settings. You have mouse input here, and you can change the buttons around so you do right click to exit if you don't want to pan when painting. And I don't like the escape route either, because I if I get a phone call, I just want to press escape and I can take my phone call or whatever. I like when it's reliable, and then I can go back to the game. So that's why I use the back key. But that's a classic example of like people complain, but even if the solution is right in front of them, so is it my fault for not using the standard, or should I have like a big red arrow blinking at cancel, or is it their fault for not looking, and so on? You can that's a big like discussion you can have, but in the end,
Also, you make your own style, your own approach. Like for example, Factorio tutorials were very different, and at the beginning people complained, but after a while, more people got used to it, and then they were like new people that came and then started complaining. Then others would say, "Oh yeah, just look over here," or get good.
exactly, because good UI is what you're used to. When you get used to a game, then the UI is good. It sounds stupid, but that's actually the truth. And so if you make a new genre and you set this, if you set the UI as a new standard, you basically have to come in afterwards and copy their style, or you will be the one who have the bad UI. Some people ask for, like, when you have a build menu, maybe you should have like buttons down here on the bottom of the screen and so on, to like make the UI move out a bit on the screen. And yeah,
that's a bit chaotic. Like to me, it feels when you do that, you fall in not the Settlers or the City Skylines, but there are games that use it, and it gets boring because everyone starts to use it. It becomes repetitive, and it feels like dumped down, in a sense.
yeah,
For me, while this is very clean, everything is on the left. You expect to stay it on the left. You don't get distracted.
you know where to look.
Yeah.
And one of the big reasons I have this system is I don't actually design the UI as you might think, because I have written an automatic UI designer for myself. So I just add buttons and text, and the auto designer will draw up the UI for me. And this is to save a lot of time. if we go back to an old game, let's see here. This is an old game I worked on for like 2 years. It has very simple UI in general, but I remember these are all hard coded basically, where they're gonna end up and so on. And I spent months on adding UI to that game, and my lesson was like, never do that again, because I don't want to be stuck placing buttons every time I do a little update.
Don't hard code it. Modularize.
Yeah, that is just a nightmare. It's not hard coded in the way like I set pixel 100, but I like in the order and spacing and so on. It's a lot of hard coding. But also, one good thing with my auto UI is it's easy to do things like when I swap language, the UI will expand or get smaller and so on. So that's a good thing with it. But yeah, in general, the UI is also designed for me to be like a quick thing to work with, because I want to like bombard people with content more than having like the perfect UI that no one will be ever be pleased with. So that is kind of that discussion. We have one final big critique I get is like, the game is early access. Why don't you put it in early access on Steam and so on? And well, this is a bit of a hot topic. We probably disagree, but for me, this is not an early access game. This is more like a design. You're paying for like a design adventure, in my mind. So that the game will, I will keep doing big changes to the game. The game will genre drift, so it will not be the same game all through the years. People who have been along for the ride for a few years, I have some playtesters that have been playing the game for like 10 years now. They sometimes tell me that they prefer this old version or that old version, because the game has been doing a lot of big changes to the game style, and it will keep going in that direction.
So basically, in short, you're doing the Dwarf Fortress or a la Paradox, Stellaris, and Crusader Kings and all that route, where basically you develop and then players like it, and if they don't like the current version, they might sometimes go back to a prior version.
Yeah, there will probably become a time when you say like, I don't like this version, the old one was better. One of the reasons I have the casual mode in the game is because I noticed there was like a big group of people who kept playing the old DSS, which was almost like a classic RTS with only like money as the only resource. So I made the casual mode for them, but it's also like a nice way to, if you want to play with your kids or your girlfriend or something, you can put the game in split screen and they can play with easier controls and have a fun time.
That's also something special about this game. Not many games have this split screen mode, so that's very nice. That if, even if you say in the future the game might change, okay, but if in a few years I, for example, have kids and I want my kids to, go into the strategy genre or something, I can just go, oh yeah, we can play this together on split screen. I don't have to set up 2 Steam accounts and everything.
Yeah.
So that's a very cool feature to have.
And you can even you can oversize the window so it covers multiple screens. So you can have a split screen over 2 screens. That is pretty nice.
But how do you use 2 mouses?
No, you have to use controller right now.
Okay.
But you can play with any like Xbox style controller. It's maybe not perfect, but it should work. I don't have double mouse support. I think that's a little bit too slim. I don't think anyone will use
I
it.
don't think that's even possible on Windows.
Yeah. And I'm also working on online multiplayer, so that is probably the preferred way to play with your friends. We're gonna talk more about that. So yeah. So the early access question is like, I don't personally feel it's early access because it's not a finished concept that is gonna be more and more polished and complete at the end. I will keep on throwing on more crazy features that will keep making the game broken in fun ways and so on, and that will hopefully never end. Because for me, I don't want to stagnate. I want this to be like a fun ride for trying out different new concepts that have never been done before. Because I find that very exciting, and I hope other people find it exciting. Because one of the big reasons I started making this game is like I felt that strategy games were getting stale, and there weren't much stuff happening anymore. And I'm kind of jealous on board games because they have like a renaissance now where there's so much different cool stuff coming out all the time. While it feels like computer games, they're just getting more and more settled in their ways.
Oh yeah, I can. If you want, I can maybe one time explain it in more details. But in short, the entertainment of video games is stagnating in the West, especially. But if you go to the East, especially Asian games, you may find a lot of games for inspiration and fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, maybe if I can say, the reason why I found your game very interesting is because it, in a way, reminded me of Alona.
Okay.
It's a Japanese RPG game with like town building and party management.
Earlier, maybe noticed in the earlier versions that they always it looks like all workers always react at the same moment.
It was systematic.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I changed the loop so it can only like move one worker at a time, or give orders or what you call it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not perfect because the calculation is on another thread or another core. Uh, you don't really know how fast the calculation will go or if it will sync with the game speed. So depending on the speed of your machine and so on, you will get a little bit of different results. That is something I kind of have to live with this design I have, because everything in this game is asynchronous. It's called like
Yeah,
all the tasks are running on different cores. In RTS games, you normally want what they call lockstep, which is if you copy all the tasks from one computer to another, you always get the same results exactly. I don't have that at all because there's just too much going on in the game. So I have a lot of what you could call lazy tasks that is running if there's like CPU for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if the one task is finished sooner, then the other one can begin also sooner. It's not
Yeah.
dependent on if everything is complete, then go. Yeah, I also noticed that on my computer maybe with because we have clearly very different machines and with the speed on how when I played like on 5 times speed in the past, it felt like I could perform the same amount of tasks that someone on 1 time speed could do. And what I mean is like if I place a building and I place another one and I give orders, it feels like there's still the same.
Yeah, you mean if I change to X2, it will not always double perfect everything in speed, and that is true because if you change the update speed, what it will do is skipping frames basically. So if you run at 5x, it will skip 5 updates and then do an update.
Yeah, with that, I also noticed that I had more. I could like not min-max, but maybe exploit the resource usage. Like if I did on 5x, I had more time to make few buildings to go into the red. So for example, if I place more buildings,
it's because when they go into depth, that's happen on another core, and then that happens before the economy update comes.
Yeah, and not even that. If you go into depth and you are already into depth, the builders can start another building even though you are in depth because the depth wasn't yet processed by them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like speculative depth.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides.
I call it realistic. I call it inflation.
Yeah, I see it as like, oh, they find some wood over there and borrowing it for a little while, and like, I will put it back another minute.
Yeah.
But the depth thing is mostly like, because before, when they couldn't take any depth, there was way too many workers that walked to a goal, and then they just had to walk back again because the resources was empty. And it's pretty annoying when they just walk back and forward and don't do anything.
Yeah,
so the depth is better.
Yeah. One question they have: why would they walk back then and not stand there? They don't have the resource. Why would you walk back? Why not go there? I don't have the resource.
Because they will just take the next task in the queue.
Okay, next task. Okay.
Yeah,
because to me it was like, okay, back and forth. So the walking back to where the first were is also part of that first task. But okay, then you explained it properly.
Yeah, I think right now it works like this. Every 10 seconds, the city will build a huge task of everything that needs to be done, and it will sort it through priority.
Yeah.
And then when a worker is free, it will look through the lists and see, start from the top and work down, see if he can do it. Maybe there's not enough resources, or he just doesn't have the skill level, and so on, until he finds a task he can do, and then he goes and do it.
Yeah.
But that happens when a lot of people are free, because there's like a 10-second delay sometimes before they get new tasks.
Yeah.
They a lot of people can decide to like do a building at the same time, and then that's when you go really back in the depths. I think I'm losing now. The game is already super crowded, and there's like at least 5 more things I want to add to the tabs, so that's gonna be a nightmare. I don't really know where to put more buttons, but I need to figure it out.
Yeah,
when I add trade and all that.
But why I thought was, could you not use, and then maybe it becomes a nightmare for the controller, but for example, pressing shift or control, like, so you have like that entire additional layer of
yeah, but that will still be like what do you call it, hidden buttons and so on. It's still very confusing when when it's swapping out UI in that way.
Yeah. Would then maybe I think to think about is to make it a bit easier instead of swapping, is that every button that supports secondary context have like a corner with a different color. So like you have your button for example farmer or something, and like your experience.
My current idea is just replacing these with icons and then have just a ton of them.
That's also cool. Yeah, but that also adds like a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
Because if you have more icons and more types, it doesn't feel like a Unity asset store flip. Maybe, pardon for my French, but uh, it doesn't feel like it's made by someone that just wanted to have a cash grab. It feels more like you are trying new things and you are going on a journey and
I could
try
try
new
have
stuff and it's
also
growing.
I could also try having different colors on the tabs depending on the ones you need to know from the beginning. They can be bright, and those are like extras that can be a bit darker and so on. So
Yeah,
maybe
but then
clue the people in a bit.
that's good, but maybe that could also help with color blindness. But from the other side, I think some people will consider it color puke or like
Yeah,
rainbow puke.
I mean, I just mean that they're a little bit grayer or something.
Yeah.
I already do a little bit. I don't know if you can. Let's see. You can see here like this button is a primary
Yes,
button,
highlighted.
but this is a secondary button.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps the eye look at the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's already very good. The thing that in the past confused me a bit is that you could slide the thingies in some
Yeah,
tabs.
the people. No one knows about the slides. That's true. Yeah, that you can
Yeah.
drag this. I don't ever seen anyone figure it out.
It was like, oh, that's the thing. Yeah,
I
because
tried
there's
to
like
make them look very draggable, like with these bars. Like here you can
oh,
grab, but everyone
I
is
think that
clicking.
I maybe not tutorial or I don't know how to call it, but maybe at the top of your like stockpile, you can have um like a symbol or like text that says, okay, the how do you call it, like a appendix. Like on the map, you have an appendix, and on the bottom right, you know, you have like, okay, this means that icon. So above your
Maybe
stockpile
maybe
sliders,
the tutorial could start with like pull my finger, and then you should just see this draw
yeah, yeah,
button
or
here.
like if you see these 3 bars, that means you can drag it
Yeah,
like that, like map append. Yeah, that.
I took this from Blender. All their windows you can do this with. I love it.
Okay, that's interesting.
Let's see, what are we talking about? Yeah, a few more features you saw here is like you can see how many workers you have in different levels, and you can also pin this to the HUD so you can follow the progress if you like to. If you like waiting for someone to level up so they can do more. I added that to the tutorial so you can easily understand that you're waiting for something to go up.
Yeah. My only comment on this is it's a little bit hard to see the 22, 150 when you hover over water, for example, or some different terrain.
Yeah. It looks good on my screen, so.
Yeah, it's good, but for example, can you hover over,
maybe,
for example, the ocean?
Oh, maybe I should do that white text. Yeah, I should.
Yeah. So there's a bit of contrast.
Let's see if we take a resource. Let's take a resource here. Yeah, that uses white. That's a good point. If you just give me 1 second here.
Oh yeah, there's more a point to note. You don't have to change it in real life.
Let's code this. I will forget it in 2 seconds if I'm not fixing it. Look, it's white. Better?
Yeah. It's also like life changing, so that's cool. Like real time. I like that.
This is the way I love to code. I never turn off the game. I just keep on adding. But, I try to make everything as fast as possible when I start it up too.
But
okay.
I mean, the game is already pretty fast, if I may say. Like optimized, it's a lot optimized, more optimized, and it runs fast.
Yeah, but
there are.
It's good for development because otherwise I have to sit through that each time I try I do a little tweak or something.
Yeah.
I heard that building Unreal takes like 20 to 30 minutes. That's gotta be a nightmare.
No, it's Unreal.
Yeah, Unreal, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I see.
the game.
Yes, back to... You remember this little exciting button here. So this is like a sneak peek for the future.
Yeah.
Let's join. I have been working on online multiplayer for a while. So you remember we talked about lockstepping. That won't happen. Instead, I built like a streaming system. So wherever you look is where the game will stream data, as you can see. And if I look out, it will like follow and update where I'm looking at. And if I go in, it will start updating the ground. Right now I don't have any refresh here, so I have to like go to the side and then go back again, and then the world is there.
Yeah.
So that's... But this is basically just a proof of concept to see if it was doable.
It looks doable. The only thing is, how does the refresh work between two players? That's something that I'm curious as, because I assume this is peer to peer, like direct connect between two. Yeah. So
you have one player hosting the world basically, and that player will never send the whole world to the other players. They will only send what you're looking at, just to save time.
But I meant,
if I send the whole world, that will be like 15 minutes waiting. I tried it, so that's pretty boring. So instead I'm streaming the data. But you as a pair, when you join and you have like your own army, you will be the one hosting your own people basically. So that will limit that will reduce the network a bit, and that will also have less delay when you're moving. So you will always, when you're moving something, there will always be like an instant effect of it.
And the UI, for example, if one of your villagers cooks food, is the information that the food is cooked also sent to the other player, and then that icon appears? Like if you zoom in on the kitchen in the middle of your castle. That's what I'm trying to refer to. Yeah, you see like that there's like that pop-up, like, oh yeah, he cooked, that.
So when you're looking at your own city, that information will be perfect because you are hosting your own city, right?
Yeah.
But when you're looking at another player's city, that information will be out of date up to like 20-30 seconds.
Yeah, but I meant...
But it doesn't matter, because you just need to know, oh, they have a lot of smiths and so on. You don't really care. I mean,
you don't have to send that information that, oh yeah, now you need to have a pop-up of that food that the villager is eating or something, or cutting. That's completely unnecessary.
Exactly. So I try to restrict the unnecessary information, and only the most important information will be updated the most. So that is basically the soldier movement around where you're looking will have top priority, and then it will like go down a list. Yeah.
Yeah, what I want to say is there going to be like a bandwidth or how do you call it?
Restrictions?
No, like universal. For example, if I have a 1 gig per second bandwidth, I can send more packets per time and much faster. If my friend or opponent or whoever I'm playing with only has 100, his network adapter will receive the packets slower, but also might process them much slower. Is there going to be like, for example...
So I use like a dynamic speed on the networking. So what I usually use basically do is like a ping pong system. So I send you a chunk of the map, and then you ping me back when you have received it and is ready for more, and then I send the next chunk basically.
Yeah, yeah. But
So
the is,
when the connection is perfect, it will just stream in high speed, and if you have a bad connection, it will just drip in slowly.
Mhm. Is there also a way to, for example, um, if we say instead of 10 packets per minute, it does only 5. Maybe a bad example, but is there some, how do you call it, like uh,
If I could, if I can control the speed of the network.
Also the amount of packets so that it's equal, so you don't get async much.
Well, I
You,
just use my my ping pong system to regulate.
okay, okay.
And if there's a bad network, it will keep it down for little bits, so it won't just jump out to top speed.
All right. And
Yeah.
what if there's an async error? Like I played multiplayer games, Man of War, for example.
Yeah.
That's the first example I could think of. Sometimes my game crashed, and it just completely crashed. I couldn't rejoin because an asynchronous error happened. Basically, I got out of sync with my opponent, and it
Yeah.
just crashed the game. There's not for you, like for example.
Well, I'm because the game is never synced, like we talked about lockstepping and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
That's basically is no problem because you can jump in at any point, and you will just get, you just invent data first, and then the server or the host will keep
Okay.
refreshing your information all the time.
Yeah. So even if there, yeah, because it's constant desync.
Yeah.
If it crashes, you can just rejoin.
Yeah, exactly.
And saving.
Yeah, the only the host of the game can save.
Okay.
Because you have, as a client, you have no perfect information of the world.
If you have autosave enabled as the client, what happens?
Only, the client will never save. That's blocked.
Yeah, but if he has autosave thing enabled, is the information that I need to autosave sent to the host, and does the host then autosave?
Yeah, the host will save if
Yeah,
they want to.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if the client has the autosave option also enabled, like, that would be
Yeah,
a very funny thing.
that will be blocked, so you can't save at all.
Okay.
Because the map will miss parts and so on. You won't have the information you need to save the map. You can see how everything drops in when I'm looking at it. But yeah, so that's why I'm saying this is not made for competitive play. It will never be.
Mm-hmm.
This is like for friendly competition, or co-op is probably the best. But it will be co-optional, so you can declare war against your friend, or you can team up and so on. And I also want to extend the transport systems and so on, so you can pump in sword and iron to your friends and so on. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah, so like in the co-op Total War, this is Warhammer 3, I think, you can also send money to one another. And there are a few other games that have this. But how does it work with achievements then?
Yeah, I'm planning special achievements. I know that's very unpopular, but I have some fun ideas I've never seen anyone else doing. I'm gonna do what I call gifted achievements. This is a bit of a new system I invented, but I will show more later about that.
Now,
it's hard to explain, but I think that would be really cool, and also like a fun way to taunt each other and so on.
Yeah, I went more also because we already have achievements in the game. If I, as a client or as a host, obtain an achievement, for example, I have this much population. Does the client also get it, or is there?
No, that should be local, I guess.
Okay.
about achievements, I'm thinking about maybe having just like a button in settings. Like if you don't want to play multiplayer at all, you can just click get all the multiplayer achievements.
Yeah.
Just to keep everyone happy. Because
Do
achievements
you
in itself aren't really that important. It's more like a fun way to
like an
explore the
incentive,
game.
like a motivation to see if the players will, oh yeah, let's try to go for this one where the both of you have to do something weird together.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
There are
mean,
no stupid
multiplayer
ideas.
itself is not that big of a work, but there's so much things around it, like being able to talk, be able to ping an ally and send resources and emote
Yeah,
maybe, and all those different small systems that makes that is a huge amount of work. That's gonna take forever. So I'm trying to get rid of it because I know I'm done with the winter update mostly, and I have a spring update before I'm gonna work on multiplayer,
hmm,
and I'm gonna try rushing the spring update so I can have like almost 6 months working on the multiplayer because it's gonna be a big one.
War Manager runs at double pace. So I was like, so it runs at 600.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's like around 1.5 hour between it goes up and down in sorry, in aggression.
Okay,
So
aggression, yeah.
because I wanted those like calm periods where you can build up and turtle and so on, and then all the enemies should show up and you have a big fight and so on. So it goes up,
Yeah,
you have all the fights, and then it goes down again for 1.5 hour, and you can calm down and prepare and so on.
yeah, like recovery phase or like a
Yeah,
truce period, something like that. Yeah,
because I think that's a better experience than always pounding with enemies.
yeah. Because
But
that would feel more like a last stand then. Because I always feel like everything just keeps going, and it could. Some people like it, and some people get burned out by it. If you
yeah,
constantly have war, and you constantly have to focus on that, while you also want to do other things, and new things keep popping up and being added, it just at one point it's just yeah, it's not for me anymore.
but if you play 300% now, there should be like constant attack.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no
and
moment to relax.
with the when you said it like they attack and then you have like this cooldown period, it doesn't mean that the AI also proposes a truce, like you get a notification or something you can press yes or no, or is it like
I
you're
want that, but I
still
haven't added it.
okay, okay, okay.
You can only do it through peace diplomacy or just
Hmm.
wiping them out. You're kind of forced to do more peace diplomacy in 300 because you don't have time to just take over because you will have too many fronts to protect.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting discussion because I really feel like right now a problem with the game is it's too easy to expand quickly. That is
It's
something I need to
more.
work on.
It's not that it's not just expanding quickly because you already know how I play the game, so I don't have to explain to you, but maybe I could explain it quickly for the other people. I am a turtle. I like to build a big industry, and I like to focus on myself, like in Factorio. Factory must grow, and then I expand a bit, and then I expand a bit, and basically when I have everything set up, I just basically go into steamroll phase or world domination mode. But also, I wanted to ask then to you is what if you have a big empire? Will there be, for example, that one part of your empire starts developing their own subculture or like alignment? And then, for example, you have the northern lands and the southern lands. The southern lands, at one point, they start disagreeing with whatever you do for whatever reason.
I kind of see this as a very childish power fantasy game. So everyone agrees with you in your empire, basically.
Yeah.
Because that's a type of game I love the childish nature of having this type of power fantasy. So that's what I'm going with. But I also plan to have like a losing is fun button that you can check, and then all these disasters and all that can happen to you. If we go back to the discussion of
Yeah, sure.
player expectation, like I said with why I didn't like Demon Souls the first time I played it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing. It's like you really need to prep the player for bad accidents or things being out of their control, or the game will be really bad for them.
But was it not the manager? Yeah, the players now have individual war managers.
Yeah, so that before they all shared the aggression level together.
So all players. So
Yeah,
players,
if you
not.
played local split screen like you
Yeah.
can
Okay.
do now, but
Yeah.
now you have individual levels of aggression. So if you're a player who turtle down, you can lower the aggression. But if you have a friend who's like conquering the world, the the war will be against that player.
Okay.
Basically.
Oh. One more question. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
What's the player start area and large? Find start position field.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
okay,
quick.
yeah. So the game tried to place the player in the center,
Mm-hmm.
but that is a loop that can fail and then crash the game. So instead of crashing the game, the area that is trying to place the player is expanding and trying again, over and over until it finds a
Yeah.
place.
Is this only in quick game or is it also in?
In any game, you always try to be
Yeah.
placed in center.
But why? Can you explain maybe the design idea or their choice to why is it in the middle?
Well, the idea is just I don't like borders in games because it feels like awkward to find a
Mm-hmm.
border in they don't exist in real life.
It makes sense
Yeah, so
because I was thinking.
that's one of the reasons the game is big. I just don't want to see the borders. That's that was all my thinking from the beginning.
Yeah, that also prevent. Maybe it prevents, but I think it would be nice. But that's like a far future feature maybe to request that you can choose to start near a portal if you want to be a turtler, for example.
Yeah, that's a common request to start in a corner and so on.
Yeah.
So I
But no,
know
then I have.
I should add it someday. Heh.
Yeah. So I don't have any more questions, and sorry for interrupting
Yeah.
again.
No, don't worry. That's what you're here for.
Yep.
So I just want to say also that it's not only multiplayer I'm working on for summer. There will also be a big update to the resource management.
Oh, can you give like a teaser or maybe like a
Yeah,
short?
one of the things is like you should be able to grow different animals, like horses and ponies.
Yeah.
And then you can place any type of soldier on the horse and the pony, or you can place a wagon on the horse and then place a soldier in the wagon. So you can do any combination of units or weapon.
Chariots.
Yeah.
Can we have light ships? Sorry.
Yeah, people love the ships. The ships is
Yeah.
gonna get the ships is gonna get love another time. But not this time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I just find it funny how the ships kind of ignore physics, so they go like, "Yeah, we're light ships now."
I know they're wonky, but
yeah.
One of the reasons they are funny is I always give the units more movement than they are allowed to because it's so easy for them to get stuck otherwise, and that is just annoying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's a different subject. But anyway, so one of the things I'm working on for the summer update is this combination of wagon types, animal types. There's gonna be a lot more animals than just horses, but that's gonna be a surprise.
Will the horses also have skills or like traits?
No, I'm thinking you gonna be able to improve the horses from being like little ponies to normal horses to those
War
big
horses.
big
Yeah, yeah,
war horses.
yeah. That was the thing. How do you? Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And if you have ponies, you cannot pull wagons with the ponies, so you have to get oxen that is like slow and. All right. You take care, buddy. Thank you very much for joining me. I would hate to sit and do this all alone.
oh no, I found it fun. I also got the questions. I also had a lot of
If you
fun.
feel
I
like
finally could speak with you face to face. Oh well, yeah. Like,
let's
I don't have a camera, so
let's press stop.